this is a fail. We don't like to work on these because generally the quality is quite poor. We recommend that the customer takes this violin back to Gear for Music. My name is Ian J. Cole and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do videos on music technology and musical instruments, anything to do with music really. So we're now going to look at a violin that's coming for repair. So let's get started. Here is the violin that's coming for repair, and sadly it's a Gear for Music instrument. We don't like to work on these because generally the quality is quite poor, but anyway, we'll have a look and see what we can do. Apparently it's not that old, and the G string, the bottom G string, won't stay in pitch. Could be a couple of reasons for that. Could be just that the quality of the peg is an issue. But anyway, we'll set it up and we'll see how we get on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set the fine adjusters to somewhere in the middle, because we're going to tune the whole thing properly if we can get this bottom string to stay. Let's get the case out of the way. So let's see what we can do about trying to get this G string to stay in pitch. One of the things we'll do is we'll tune it and see if we can get it up to pitch. Now, I'm not a violin player, and when I work on violins I like to do the tuning usually over a couple of days to make sure that it stays in pitch. So let's have a look at this. Okay, there's the problem. So it's not this one, it's this one. And what happens is, the minute you try and hold it, it's not gonna stay. It just slips. So what we can try and do with it is take the string off and try and see whether we can rough up the inside of this a bit and try and put some peg paste. What we're going to do now is we're going to use this tool, which is designed specifically for routing out the peg hole on a violin. And we're not going to give it a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to just put it in so it's like that, and then we're just going to give it a few turns. Not much, just to roughen up the inside edge. That'll probably do it. Okay, let's see how the peg is now. Feels a little bit better. What we're going to do as well is just roughen up the peg with a little bit of sandpaper. Doesn't need much, just a little bit of roughening up into there. And what the last thing we're going to do is we're going to just apply a little bit of peg paste. Here we have some peg paste, and what we do, it's like a wax, and we just apply it liberally right the way around the peg. So we've put a new string on the violin, and now we'll tune it and see if we can get it to stay in pitch. Having recut the hole, roughed up the peg, added the peg paste, and it still won't hold its pitch. This is a fail. There's one more thing we can try before we actually give up on this violin, and that's to work. There's a way of tightening the string where we pull it, we loosen the string, and then we pull it out, and what actually happens is it tightens up by the peg. Let's see if I can. Get it so that we can. There. So I'm holding this string out, and I'm turning the peg, and as it tightens up against the edge of the peg. Pop it back down again, so I need to lift it over. And that may well have worked. So what we do now is we'll retune and do a final check. We've got the violin up to pitch, all of the strings are staying in tune so far, but what I would like to do now is to leave it overnight and check the tuning tomorrow. It's worth saying that the quality of this instrument, it retails in the UK for about £40–50, something like that, but the quality of this instrument is particularly poor. The pegs, all of the pegs, apart from the peg we've been working on, but all of the pegs seem to slip a little bit, so they've all been done with peg paste. The fine tuners are very, very stiff. Now that'll work with time, and it just generally doesn't feel a quality instrument, and certainly not great for somebody who is starting their journey on a violin. Anyway, we'll see how it is tomorrow. So we've left the violin overnight, and I've just checked the tuning, and the pitch is stable, so the customer can have this back now. How long it will stay is anybody's guess, because of the quality issues that these instruments have, and we will inform the customer of the fact that they may have problems with it in the future. It's holding its pitch fine now, but realistically, and I think it's a child who's playing it, if he sticks with the violin, he should really upgrade as soon as possible, I would have said. Apologies that if this video seems to be quite negative. Our shop is in East Yorkshire, and we tend to see quite a few of these sort of instruments. What happens is, when you buy a gear for music or a cheap violin, they don't come set up. The bridge is not fitted, it's usually sort of tucked down here somewhere, so there's quite a bit of setting up to get it up to pitch. We like to have the violin for a few days to make sure that it's stable in pitch and is in a playable condition. Now that costs money, so you may pay £40 for the violin, but it may cost another £30 to have the thing set up. That's false economy. Certainly I would be recommending that you always buy a violin that comes set up, and those sort of violins, if you buy one from Pocket Music, it will arrive set up. What we do is we set the whole thing up, fit the bridge, and then when we box it up and send it out, we will pack round the bridge so that it stays in this condition. So just a few things to think about. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button, and a thumbs up is always much appreciated. And if you want to be notified when one of my other videos goes live, ding that little bell. See you next time. Bye bye.